evaluate each expression. So the word evaluate as a command word means you need to get an answer as a number in the end. We need a single number. Mental math. 9 to the power of what equals 6? Times that by 3, then subtract 9 to the power of what equals 72, get a nice number. This is non-calculator. If it was calculator, we could just type it in. So because it's non-calculator, we need to play around with our logarithms. Let's see what we can do. Well, I know that that 3 out in front, I can put that 3 in as an exponent. And I know that subtracting means dividing. So before I do any kind of simplifying, I'm going to write this out as 6 cubed over 72. Now you have two options here. Option 1 is just multiply everything out and simplify it. And that will work. Okay? But you have to know that 6 cubed is 216, which sometimes that's one on your powers chart that doesn't come immediately to you. And then you would have to simplify 216 over 72, and that might take you a while to get down to the answer. So I'm going to do that way really quick because it's not the way I'm going to recommend. But it's the way most people choose first. They multiply things out, they simplify this, this is a 9, and they get log 9 of 3. What I would suggest instead is play around with the numbers. Instead of simplifying things, are you okay that 6 cubed means 6 times 6 times 6? And are you okay that 72 is 36 times 2, and 36 is 6 times 6 times 2? Now, if you do it this way, you don't have to know that 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. You don't have to try to simplify 216 over 72 because our 6's simplify so nice, and we're left with the much more difficult problem of dividing 6 divided by 2. 3. Good. And we get the same answer. Now, we haven't evaluated yet. Evaluating means get a final answer that's just a number. So whether we write log 9 of 3 using that method or log 9 of 3 using that method, we have to ask ourselves, what is the answer to this? 9 to what power? That's what we're asking, is equal to 3. Sorry? It's a half. 9 to the half is equal to 3. Why is 9 to the half equal to 3? What's another way you write a half? Square root of 9 is equal to 3. And so the answer to this, or this side, is just a half. Very cool. So they will put numbers that you have to know your perfect squares and your perfect cubes and think about halves and thirds and things like that. They are fair game. Let's go to part B. Part A was so much fun. So first of all, looking at this one, I can't see anything I can simplify right now, so I'll put in and then whatever is added. So I have two things that are added, the 6 squared and the 12, and one thing that is subtracted, the 3 cubed. Again, you can decide if you think this is easier to multiply out in your head and get 864, you can do that. Or I would suggest again writing things out as factors. Well, 6 squared is 6 times 6, and 12 is 3 times 4. And on the bottom, I have 3 times 3 times 3. And you don't have to, you could write each 6 as 2 times 3 as well. There's no best way to do this or not. I can see right now, though, that these 3's will cancel out. And maybe with the 6 over 3's, I'm just going to simplify and say 6 over 3, I know that that's 2. And 6 over 3, I know that that's 2. What am I left with? And this is sometimes the danger of doing this. You get cancel happy, you start canceling things out, and then you're like, whoa, what am I left with? But if I multiply everything that's here, I have, oh, and there should be no equal sign here. 2 times 2 times 4, which is 16. And so I've simplified it. I have log 4 of 16. And now I have to ask, okay, I need to still evaluate this. What does a log mean? Log solve for exponents. 4 to what power would be 16? 2. Yes. Question 13, to practice some evaluating.